Welcome, welcome, welcome. And to all of you out there, dear astrology friends, this is the first video for 2026. Actually, the second one. I already made the yearly horoscopes in general for the whole year of 2026. But now this video is just about the month of January of 2026 with me, Veerle, Veerle. Let's get into this. Let's get into this month of the first month of 2026. I absolutely love it. I love it because, and I want to make it a little bit earlier because December is such a month of squares going on and with a lot of Sagittarian energy squaring up to Saturn, squaring up to Neptune, as I was explaining in the December horoscopes. But this January is totally different. What a month this is to start off. Now, speaking of start off, I'm going to speak in general for everyone and then for the 12 signs. But to start off the month with the 1st of January, it is a month really to chill out. And I hope everyone can. And to not do a lot, because we start off the year with a Mercury square Neptune. And a Mercury at the end of Sagittarius, thinking that it knows it all and that it has all the future figured out, and it bumps into Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees, the planet of illusions and disillusions. So we might feel a little bit, a lot of people, of course, will have felt the festivities or will feel the festivities, right, after New Year's Eve. And so it's a time to rest, to watch some beautiful movie, and to stay in bed and to keep it low profile. But it's just one day that I'm talking about. So don't panic when you feel like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on. I'm totally confused. It's normal. Mercury square Neptune. It's only a day. But the month of January has so much promises, so much to offer. Yes, Neptune goes back into Aries, but I'm not going to focus too much on that because I already did in the past. I'm just going to look at the house where this is for you, for the 12 signs where Neptune is transiting. In Aries, it's a lot about having empathy and having compassion, understanding, and seeing big and broad in a new field, so to speak, in a new way, pioneering in a sense, so to speak, and also understanding and forgiving what we are. You know, it's a lot of existentialism kind of energy, Neptune in Aries. Watch the movie L'Étranger. It's all about that, you know, the book of Albert Camus. But anyway, I'm digressing. Now, the biggest thing, I think, in January is definitely the planting of a seed of a very beautiful structure that we have an opportunity for to create. And that is because Venus and Mars are going to conjoin on the 8th of January. They're going to be together. And that is Venus conjunct Mars in Capricorn. At how many degrees will that be? 18 degrees of Capricorn. So in the midst of Capricorn, that means that there is a lot of passion. There is a lot of, because these two planets are together. So Venus is the planet of desire and value, and it's in Capricorn. So it's about a value for quality. And it's not only about relationships, because I'm going to explain that as I come towards the 12 signs where this is going to happen in your chart. It can happen also that has nothing to do with relationships. But anyway, it has to do with value, and it has to do what we value. Capricorn values quality, long-term, structure, stability, no nonsense, luxury as well, and upgrading, getting an upgrade, and also being very secure because of that. So Capricorn is not just the sign of work. A lot of people think it all has to do with work. No, it also has to do with material side of life. It's an earth sign after all. And it's such a beautiful thing at the beginning of the year that we will also have that we will already energetically have an opportunity to create something very stable in the year, because it is like planting a seed. And Mars is there with Venus. So Mars is drive, it's energy to go forward, but it's also to action. And Mars in Capricorn is a very hard worker. And it does it in a very, very practical way. So it makes it happen in this 3D world that we are all living in. So that is beautiful in itself, but it's not just about this conjunction on the 8th of January, not at all. The thing is that from the 9th, you could say the 8th, 9th of January, up until the 20th of January, so that's a whole chunk of the month of January, we're going to have lots of planets trining Uranus in Taurus at 27 degrees of Taurus, which will be including, and to start with, Venus. So what are we going to have during that period of time? We're going to have Venus trining Uranus. That's going to be around the 15th. We're going to have the Sun trining Uranus around the 18th, 19th, Mercury trining Uranus around the 19th, and Mars trining Uranus around the 20th. And all of these planets are going to be in Capricorn. So that's 4 planets that are going to trine Uranus. And whilst they're doing that, because they are in Capricorn, these planets, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Mars, they're going to oppose Jupiter. So what does it mean? It means that we are really already from not the first day, as I just explained, but as from like the 6th, 7th, 8th of the month, we are already seeing something that we love. Venus opposite Jupiter. It's grand, it's big, it's huge, it's positive, it's optimism. Venus, when it aspects Jupiter, it's a lot about abundance, even in opposition. It's about abundance. It's about seeing things big. So it's not the combination of all these personal planets with Jupiter and then with Uranus means freedom, means abundance, means spirituality as well. Jupiter, Uranus, it's a very kind of spiritual energy, you could say. So we start off that month with a lot of energy of really down to earth, practical energy to construct something that we've always wanted and to free us up in a way. Because Venus trining Uranus, Sun trining Uranus, Mercury trining Uranus, Mars trining Uranus is doing all that kind of stuff mentally, physically, to liberate us, to free us up, and to get out of a rut as well. Right? So I think a lot of people will have that energy and feel the energy that is around us to tap into that so that we can, in that particular area of our life where Capricorn is, because remember, there is where Venus conjoins with Mars. There is where all these planets are going to transit. And with the help of Uranus and Jupiter, they can make it happen. So there is something in our chart, in some area of our life, that we will get that we have an opportunity. Of course, these energies are around us. These planets are not doing anything to us. They are around us, and we can decide to tap into it. So very early month. Now, even above, even adding to that, so this is very liberating energy, abundance energy. It's a trine to Uranus, which means it's all there. We don't have to do a lot of, you could say, yes, getting out of the comfort zone, but not with a lot of fear involved, so to speak, of not having the ground under our feet. But adding all up, all these planets, these 4 personal planets, are going to shift into Aquarius. And when they do that, they're going to bump into Pluto. They're going to make a conjunction. Pluto is at 3 degrees of Aquarius. And so this Venus, Sun, Mercury, Mars, they will all conjoin with Pluto. And that is Venus already on the 20th Mercury on the 22nd, the Sun also around 22nd, 23rd, and Mars will be the whole last week of January conjoining with Pluto. That is another story because it's another sign. It's Aquarius, the sign of liberation, the sign of innovation, the sign of technology, the sign of AI, you could say. But in our lives, we all have Aquarius somewhere where we want to do things in a new way, where we want to innovate, where we are a little bit against the mainstream. And with all of these planets, Venus conjunct Pluto, Mercury conjunct Pluto, Sun conjunct Pluto, Mars conjunct Pluto, it shows a breakthrough. It shows an energy of opportunity again. But Mars-Pluto is different than Mars trining Uranus. Mars-Pluto is enormously intense. So it's like, first we're doing something in that Capricornian area of our lives, and then when that is accomplished, we move to the next house, next area of our life where we want to totally transform. And we really are doing this with actions, not only with the desire, which is Venus, with the mind, which is Mercury, with the Sun, which is our identity, but also with Mars, which is our doing. And Mars conjunct Pluto in a positive way, it is doing something that demands a lot of courage, that demands a lot of stamina, that demands a lot of transformation and going through the fear and letting loose of control or the things that are out of your control. So detaching yourself, in other words, from the outcome. But the thing is, there's no way back. So Mars conjunct Pluto, you do something and there's no way back. For instance, Mars conjunct Pluto, you are in a bad relationship, you have someone else that you're thinking of and that you're seeing, that you're connecting with. Mars conjunct Pluto, when you start to have sex with that other person, there's no way back. There's consequences. That's Mars-Pluto. This is a bit of an extreme example. It's the same like, going for a job. When you apply for the job, you sign the contract, there's no way back, right? Of course, there's always a way back, you could say. But I mean, like your former life is done. It's demolished. That's Mars conjunct Pluto. That's doing something, Mars, to liberate yourself, to free yourself up. Again, that very freedom-loving energy that I love so much of January. So it seems like December is quite a bit of a tough month because it's a lot of pondering. It's a lot of like, we want to do Mars, but squaring Saturn is like, oh no, it's too early, or there's some restrictions there. But trust the timing of life. If you're watching this in December, watch that. The time will come. And January is the month of liberation and is the month where we have more the energy around us that supports that. So Mars conjunct Pluto is also about we are doing something that is more authentic, right? A relationship, a job, a project, whatever it is that we are doing that is more towards that suits us more, towards our soul, because Pluto is connected to the soul. It's connected to our soul's energy and evolvement. So this is about being authentic, being real, being raw and real, and really taking your power back. That's Mars conjunct Pluto. So at the end of the month, it's about taking our power back. What a month it is. It's beautiful. I'm going to get into the 12 signs and particularly look at, yes, Neptune, where is it in Aries? And particularly the two houses where Capricorn and Aquarius is, where we have all that energy to liberate us. So let's get started. Not too long. I'm not a favorite of these long videos, and because then I kind of feel a little bit lost, and I don't want to, and I don't want you to feel lost either. Anyway, let's get started. For Aries, this is an important month for you. Neptune is going to come into your sign. So at the very end of the month, the 27th of the month, but that means that you are going to be more empathic, compassionate, idealistic. And it's not that you're not now, but it's more of that flavor of energy and going with the flow a little bit more. Of course, the people who have planets at the first degrees of Aries, they will feel this the most. It's a very gentle energy, so work with that gentle energy and embrace it. But of course, for you, it's all about planting a seed at the top of your chart, which is the 10th house where Capricorn is, where all these things are happening, and trining your second house where Uranus is. So the first 2 weeks of the month, up until, like, you could say the 20th of the month, it's all about career. If you have a career, it's all about money as well. It's all about improving your financial situation, improving work, more work, and enjoying it, and also doing a lot of energy and a lot of work there. A lot of achievements is possible. It could mean a promotion. It could mean a bonus that you're getting, and I hope you will. But it can also mean like a new start. Remember, on the 8th of January, Venus and Mars are coming together. So it could mean a new project that you're doing, a new way of living. Now, if you're not working, this has to do more with, it can also has to do with parents. So that there is one parent and there is a connection that you work on and that is improving. On another level, it is your social status. There's something about your social status that is improving in a way, and that has a knock-on effect on your finances and your confidence. So what a boost this is for you. And towards more, you could say the 20th of the month and onwards, all this energy shifts to your 11th house. So it's going to be more social. It seems like you're getting the fruits of your efforts done in 2025 in the first 20 days of the month, and then towards the last piece, the last 10 days of the month, you're focusing more on your goals, your objectives, and because Mars, Pluto there, and also Venus and Mercury and whatnot in the 11th house means that there's a hyper focus on social circles. And it could mean you work on a new social media. It could also mean a new objective, a new wish that you have to do. Starting up a workshop, starting up something that has to do with other people, and that has to do, something very innovative. So very beautiful for you, and it's a time for you to get social, absolutely. Or towards the end of the month, you see all your friends and you'll get very active with that. But you do something that is very significant. On another level, there could be a friend that you have a transformative situation with. You might go from friend to lovers with all that energy in your 11th house, for sure. Taurians, this is lovely. This is lovely, the first 20 days of the month. Now, first, I want to say Neptune in your 12th house, right? Neptune goes back into that 12th house in Aries, and this is beautiful. This means that a more possibility of doing something new with that 12th house, which is like you doing something new to reload your batteries, right? Whether it is doing a bit of yoga, whether it is, it's Aries after all. So being active with that, with your spirituality, it's an invitation for more spirituality in your life and being more intuitive, empathic, and having that feeling and knowing what's going to happen. It's very much mediamic Neptune in the 12th house. Now, as I said, the first 20 days are for the Taurians because it's a fellow earth sign, which is Capricorn. It's your 9th house, making that beautiful trine to Uranus in your house. Now, what is this all about? There's planting of the seed in that 9th house there. And with Venus and Mars conjunction, and with all those personal planets there in your 9th house. Now, for some of you, it could be a travel. So that you're going to go far away, and there's something very passionate about that travel. Either if you're single, for instance, you could meet someone and a love story and all of that. It's amazing. And it's very refreshing, liberating, and new. On another level, you could do work from, that is connected to international affairs. It could also mean you publish or you speak or write or edit or publish something that you've written, or studying something, or you teaching others. The ninth house is a fantastic house because it's your belief system. So there's something, a seed that is planted there with a new belief system, a new view upon life that is very practical and real, but that is very abundant. I love it. It could mean also that you're learning something new. It's also the time to go to cultural events, to go here and about, to travel a lot. Really a beautiful time for you, and it's a lot about spirit. It's a lot about firing up and being fired up because you see abundance, and when it's in your mind, it's in your external world as well. After the 20th, up until the end of the month, all these planets, personal planets, shift into your 10th house, the highest point of your horoscope, with the climax, so to speak, with Mars Pluto at the last week of January. What is that all about? Well, for a lot of you, it's career. So there's going to be a shift towards doing the career in a more real way, authentic way. There could be a power struggle going on with a boss, for instance, or if you work for someone. But whatever it is, there is something here that you put a lot of effort towards so that you can liberate yourself. And for those of you who've been wanting to do something and been planning or studying to do something in the past, it could mean now they are executing it, right? In the 10th house, what they've learned, they apply. The 9th house going to the 10th house. What you've learned, what you've taught, you apply it directly in your career or in a project that you're doing. So for those of you who want a new career, it's on. But it's with doing effort and getting through the barrier of fear for sure. For those of you who are not working, it could mean a connection with a parent. That there is a bit of friction there, a little bit of ego struggle, but whatever it is to improve the relationship. And on another level, Mars Pluto in the 10th house and with all these planets there, it's your social status. So you could shift social status from being single to being married, from being married to being divorced, from having no babies to having a baby. Mars Pluto is a very intense dynamic. So very beautiful. Geminis, first, let's start with Neptune. That is entering your 11th house. So with Neptune entering the 11th house on the 27th of January in Aries, it's doing this again and it's going to stay there now. It's not going to tiptoe back into Pisces anymore. Excuse me. And that means when it comes to your goals for the future, when it comes to your friendships, there is more empathy. There is more understanding, more artistic friends that you could attract, or more creative friends that you could attract. Goals for the future, that has to do with Neptune, that has to do with creativity, inspiration, that has to do with you wanting to do something for the collective, for instance, that as well. But of course, all this energy in your 8th house, you start off with, and it's with all these personal planets in Capricorn, with Venus, Mars, conjunct in Capricorn on the 8th, in that 8th house. And that is planting a seed of what? It's a water house, so this is emotional, this is deep, this is hidden as well. And the 8th house is a couple of things. It trines to your 12th house, where Uranus is, and where it wants you to break free from old patterns, old patterns that you want to get rid of, that weren't even yours in the first place. So this can have to do with real estate. This can have to do with resources that you share with another person or with a business partner, that you move to abroad, for instance, or that there is a return on investment, there is a tax return, there is money from other people that you don't have to do anything for, that there is something that you are doing with it. And it's positive. It's a very positive thing. On another level, it's not always money. On another level, it's deep psychological growth and understanding and intimacy. It could mean also, for those of you who are just starting a relationship, it could mean the start of a very intimate, serious and deep but real relationship. Of course, Venus and Mars in the 8th, it could also mean hidden, right? But whatever it is, these planets are shifting at the, so this is what I'm speaking of, is the first 20 days of the month. And then the 20th up until the 30th of the month, or the 31st, it's more your 9th house, where all this energy is shifting towards. So it starts very deep. It's also a good time to heal, to go within, to psychologically understand yourself, and really, really release a lot of old luggage, so to speak. And I really, really love for you when Mars and Venus and Mercury and the Sun from the 20th on and onwards, they all shift into Aquarius, which is a fellow air sign. That's amazing for you. And it's all shifting towards the 9th house, which is your belief system. That's the first thing. So it could mean that you put a lot of Mars Pluto, you put a lot of effort to a new study, or you teaching others, or you publishing, or you traveling, major. You could be doing, investigating something abroad. It could also mean finding love abroad, and finding something that you really, really love to do, or international affairs, international work that you're doing. But whatever it is, it's a total abundance. And it's a mindset that is now so abundant for you that because of that, you're so abundant that externally, your external world is reflecting that. And that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Cancerians. Now, Cancer, of course, on the 3rd is your full moon at 13 degrees of Cancer. So for you, it's a very important moment anyways, during these days of the year, because you're having your full moon there. So things become very clear for you. And for you, it's all relationships. Let's start with all this energy in Capricorn in your 7th house of other people. Now, there is Venus-Mars conjunction there on the 8th. So it depends, of course, your situation, whether you're single, but even if you're not single, Venus conjunct Mars, it's planting of a seed. It shows like a new relationship or a possibility of an existing relationship, some sort of a revival or a renewal. But whatever it is, and it's connected to your goal, the 11th house, which is friends, goals for the future. So it's connected. Let's say you're single, for instance, there could be someone of your social circle really being showing interest, and you as well, to start something new, to create something new together, you know, with an objective, with a goal for the future. And it's very, very positive. It's a very positive energy here. It's a lot of passion as well. Venus, Mars in the 7th house. Wow, it's going to be a super passionate month, especially the first 20 days of the month. It's really abundant. So also for, if you want to attract a new business partner, for instance, is very positive, or someone who is very important for you to help you, or some sort of a mentor. With this energy, absolutely positive energy when it comes to relationships, because you have a tough time in the past with connections, to purify it, to do it in a more authentic way. And this is like the hard work you've done in 2025. It's going to show up in 2026. Now, even if you had bad experiences in 2025, it shows here that there is a turning point, and that's beautiful. And then towards the 20th of the month and onwards, you're going to have all these planets shifting into your 8th house, with Mars, with Venus, Mercury, the Sun. It's a very intimate house. So especially if you would start a relationship, and towards the end of the month, it's a lot about intimacy. And with intimacy, I mean a union on all levels, sexual level, mental level, emotional level. So this can be a very deep experience for you and a very liberating experience as well. Now, Venus and Mars in the eighth house can also indicate hidden energy. So, hidden love. For whatever reason it is, I'm not judging here, but it's a lot of activity in that house. But whatever it is, you want to transform, you want to do something, and it's going to have, hidden or not, it's going to have consequences for the rest of your life. But it seems like you're dealing with this in a positive way and you're welcoming this as well. So it could also mean a huge shift in your finances that you share with someone or with a business partner. There is some sort of a shift here and a breakthrough as well. Very deep month for you also on a psychological level, that because you go so deep, and you have those fears, of course, for the vulnerability, because but you're breaking through, and that gives you that renewal. Now, Neptune in your 10th house when it comes to your work. So on the 27th, Neptune goes back into Aries, stays there for a long, long time. So when it comes to work for you, Cancerians, or career, or how you want to show yourself in the world, it has to do a lot with something new, with pioneering, but also with doing something good for the collective, doing something compassionate, empathic, or creative. Beautiful. Leos, you're having Neptune in a fellow fire sign in the 9th house coming in again on the 27th of the month, and it's in Aries, and this is beautiful. Neptune trining your sign, and especially if you are an early, if you have Leo planets around 0 to 5 degrees, you're gonna feel this Neptune trining your sign. It means more compassionate towards self and others, more in the flow, and also more in the flow when it comes to being very. The 9th house is the house of your belief system, of being spiritual, of opening up, of seeing a lot of abundance. That is such a beautiful thing, because when the mental is really positive and healthy, the outer world is healthy. Now, when it comes down to the material world, it's the first 20 days, it's amazing, because there's an opportunity in the 6th house. Your 6th house, you've got Capricorn there with the Venus, Mars planting a seed, and it's trining the 10th house of Uranus, also a career house. So first of all, let's talk about career. That could mean something new. That could mean a love for career. That could also mean a falling in love at work with Venus and Mars there in your 6th house. But whatever it is, it's an upgrade of a lifestyle. It could mean a lot of work, but you love it and you're mentally ready for it, and a lot of growth and a lot of independence as well that is coming your way. So whether it is you working for yourself or a project that you're doing, it's very positive. And it has to do with work that you've done in 2025. Now, for people who don't work, this is lifestyle. This is your lifestyle. There's an upgrade. For sure, you want more quality, you want more luxury. There's nothing wrong with it. And it seems like you're working here to achieve that and to accomplish that, which is a beautiful thing. The same for your health. If you've been working a lot on your health, or this could be a start of a new workout and you're taking it seriously, and there's a lot of momentum and stability and long-term energy here to do it. I know it sounds cheesy, right? You know, starting a new workout regime at the beginning of the year, but that's what it is for you. Now, towards the 20th of the month and onwards, all of this shifts, all of this energy of the personal planets shift towards Aquarius in your 7th house. So focus on relationships. And there is like this transformational energy with Pluto there. All these planets, personal planets, are transiting Pluto in your 7th house of relationships. So two scenarios. Either you are in a relationship and it's very bad and toxic and there's power struggles, and this is the time to free yourself up. Power struggles, I mean, there could be control issues going on here. You wanting to control them, it's not going to work. they wanting to control you, it's not going to work. So it's about freeing you up from this and, you know, in a more authentic way, connecting with people. So taking your power back is important, but you're going to attract powerful people at the same time. If you're not in a relationship, this could be really a charismatic person, someone you meet that is a new relationship starting, and it's very passionate and very new and very freeing at the same time, right? Because it shows you something about your own power. Beautiful. Virgos, wow, you're one of those signs together with the Taurians that is starting off the month with all that earthly energy. The first 20 days, it's amazing for you. And you're having all these planets in Capricorn in your fifth house of enjoyment, and you probably will really still enjoy festivities or meeting up with people that you know, like friends, and you know, to that opposition of Jupiter in your 11th house, the house of friends. A lot of enjoyable energy there. So go out there, have some fun, go to restaurants and cinemas and dating. If you're single, there's a lot of energy to start a new relationship, to start a new love relationship, to start a new business, the fifth house, to start a baby, having a baby, creating a baby. It's that Venus Mars, right? On the 8th of the month, planting a seed in that fifth house of yours. It could also mean a new hobby that you're starting, getting very creative, or in the life of a child that you already have. It could be like this child is blossoming, they're in their studies or whatever it is, that they are really growing and you enjoy it, or you just do fun, you do things that you absolutely love to do. You know, Virgos, they have Capricorn in the fifth house, so it's like almost doing the things they love to do, they do it in a structured way. But now it's like full force of really enjoying yourself and creating, basically. Could also mean creating a new business, by the way. And on the 20th and onwards, all this energy shifts towards your sixth house, which is your Virgo house, with Pluto there. So Venus bumping into Pluto and Mercury and the Sun and Mars on the last week of the month. What is this? What does this say? It says a lot of busyness. Mars Pluto means a transformation. So it could mean that you want to transform. You want to transform your current job, for instance. This is possible. There is power struggles going on, or you just want to be more authentic at the job. This is the moment with this Mars Pluto there. It's going through the barrier of fear and doing it anyway. A lot of busyness to transform your work and to free you up yourself during your work. So whether it is like, it could also mean like something in the administration that you have to do if you have your own business, but even at work, that shifts there your daily work and makes it more real and easy and authentic and efficient and innovative. So you get that upgrade there. On another level, it's health. So for you, it could really mean starting a regime, starting with a new fitness plan or whatever. I know it sounds very cheesy to say that at the beginning of the month, but it seems like for you, starting that around the 20th of the month is super, because it's going to create that momentum and that transformational energy. So you shifting your lifestyle by doing something drastically different and very new and something that you've never done before. Again, in your workplace, it could mean like working with a new program, new accounting program, for instance, or whatever. And Neptune is shifting into your 8th house again. So where Aries is, that is very metaphysical. So it could mean that you have more an interest in the occult, more an interest in the metaphysical side of life. On the 27th of the month, Neptune is shifting into that area, but it's smoothly. It shows also an interest in deep psychological stuff and understanding the self. And also it shows when it comes to finances and finances of money that you share with others. It's more to go with the flow, to not be too much attached to an outcome, and to trust, right? Also on investments. Librans, the Neptune in the 7th house on the 27th of the month, back into your 7th house, stays there for a long, long, long time. And what does it mean? It means that you're attracting more Neptunian people in your life. And there's nothing good or bad about it, but Neptune has to do with go with the flow, has to do with people who are spiritual, that have to do something with healing, that have to do something with creating, inspiring, and they are very flowy. So it's people that you're going to attract that you can't pinpoint that easy. If you're okay with that, you can reach a lot of soulmate connections whilst Neptune is in your 7th house, which is a beautiful thing. Of course, for Librans who have this Libra planets around 0 to 2 degrees, they might feel a little bit like, oh, them and another person or relationships in general, it is a bit vague. But embrace that vagueness because it shows that is the best attitude. All of the energy, it's an important month for you when it considers your home because you've got like the first 20 days, Venus there, Mars there, Mercury there, the Sun there, and all trining Uranus in your 8th house. So you could be doing a lot at home, literally beautifying it, with your Libra energy. You are Venus after all, and Venus is with Mars in your 4th house, planting a seed on the 8th. So for some of you, literally, this is a new home that you're creating. This has to do with real estate, buying and selling. But it also has to do with beautifying, with redecorating the house, with feeling very, very secure and passionate around the home. Also working at home could be that as well. But it's gaining emotional well-being from being at home and doing work there, and finding love there as well, getting along with family members better than if you had, for instance, rough times in 2025. So there's a gentle energy there for sure for you. Although this squares up to your energy, it trines Uranus in your 8th house. And that's a very deep psychological transformational house. So you are getting emotional support. That's for sure, the first 20 days. Then around the 20th up until the end of the month, it's even better. Because you're having all these personal planets shifting into your 5th house, into Aquarius, where Pluto is. So Mercury there, Mars, Venus, the Sun, it's all conjoining with Pluto. It's all in your 5th house, and it's all trining your energy. Librans, it's time to have fun. At the end of the month already, from the 20th till the end of the month, go out there. If you're single, a date. Enjoy, go to restaurants, go to cinemas, go and do the things that you love to do, or go to study something that you love to do, astrology, for instance. Uranus in the 5th house of hobbies, or starting a workout. Mars conjunct Pluto, doing some Tai Chi or martial arts that you're starting is going to transform you. So it's a lot about you during the last part of the month. And I really love this because of this energy that is very flowy towards creating, towards a new business, for instance, Mars Pluto, if you want to have a project or a web shop or whatever, something that is new for you, you can create that. It can also mean children. You want to have children. You do what you've got to do. And you're enjoying it because Venus is there as well. A lot of passion there. So for those of you who are single, this could mean meeting someone that's very passionate. It could mean someone from the friend circle because it's Aquarius. Scorpios, let's start with Neptune in your 6th house. So at the end of the month, the 27th, Neptune is entering your 6th house of your day-to-day work, your health. And Neptune is a planet of letting go and go with the flow. So it seems like for you, the best attitude in your day-to-day life is to trust and to go with the flow a little bit. Of course, that's not always possible, but to have an open mind is important. And it can also mean that when it comes to your health, doing things of relaxing, soothing can really help your body, can really help you out. Now, the focus is the first 20 days of the month. It's in your third house, Capricorn, with the planting of the seed, Venus, Mars there on the 8th. What is that all about? Well, first of all, there's something passionate there. It could be you thinking passionately about love because it's a thinking house. And it trines Uranus in the 7th. So this could mean meeting someone and a relationship establishing here. It's very new, it's very fresh, it's very enjoyable, and it's very social at the same time. On another level, it could mean that you do a short trip with a loved one. And you're really, really going to love it with all these energies of, the personal planet of Venus and Mars and Mercury and the Sun there in the third house. Lovely. It could also mean you start up something that has to do with communication, with social media, a new website. You start a web shop, for instance, and you reach a lot of clients, because the 7th house is not only a romantic partner, it can also mean clients. So it's a lot of busyness and a lot of emails and phone calls and whatnot, but it's very practical. So it can give you a lot and a good structure around a new skill, for instance, you learning a new skill. And you're doing that with other people. Now, on the 20th and onwards, all this energy of these personal planets shift towards the home area. So in your 4th house where Aquarius is. So a little bit more shift to the home and family. So Venus and Mars is there, also the Sun and Mercury. But Mars with Pluto definitely shows a possibility for a transformation. So this could mean that you want to sell a home and buy a new home. This could also mean that there's a bit of a power struggle with a parent, and but you're working on it to improve it and to do it in a new way. Could literally also mean working from home. If you haven't done that already and you want to do that and you want to implement that, it's certainly on here. Very beautiful. But doing a lot from the home as well. And a breakthrough, Mars, Pluto in the 4th, on an emotional level. So emotionally, let's say, for instance, that you think that your emotional setup is too reactive. Now you see it, you deal with it, and you heal it. You say, no, I'm going to be more responsive and detach myself from the outcome of I'm going to be less controlling, right? Towards the outcome and towards the things that are out of my control anyways. And that can give you a lot of emotional stability. But it's facing deep rooted patterns and seeing them for what they are, and then they transform. And the darkness becomes light, basically. Sagittarians, Neptune in a fellow fire sign on the 27th of the month in your 5th house. So when it comes to creativity, when it comes to falling in love, you fall deep with Neptune in the 5th house. It can also mean your relationship with children is very flowy and it goes smoothlier because there's trust and they go with the flow, so do you. It can also mean a hobby that is more Neptunian-like, but that is fresh. Like it could mean something like you're gonna do Tai Chi or some other martial arts. You're gonna do a hobby that is more creative, that has more to do with that kind of energy. But the first 20 days, it's all about your confidence and your money, assets, finances. Oh, there is a possibility to grow your finances. My goodness me, because the Venus-Mars conjunction is in your 2nd house in Capricorn, and it's planting that seed on the 8th. And you're having all these energies there, trining Uranus in your sixth house of your day-to-day life, your day-to-day work, your health. So these two houses are working together. They are material houses, they are money houses, they are work houses. So it could mean for a lot of Sagittarians that, boom, not the first day. Remember the introduction, what I said about the 1st January, but the first 20 days, it's work, 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 work. And a lot of work can give you a lot of good structure and a lot of a good start for the beginning of the year. That's going to give you lots of money. That's going to give you a good structure on a financial level. And also something new there in your sixth house with Uranus could mean a new program that you work with or something innovative in the workplace so that you are going to get way more freedom. So for those of you who want a new work, it's on. You can hustle for the money. You can try out a new work regime, so to speak, and very, very good. Also for your confidence. You could also do new ways of eating, and it has a really, really long-term positive effect on you. And then after the 20th of the month, all this energy shifts into Aquarius, which is very nice because it sextiles your energy in your third house. So Venus is going to be there, Mercury, the Sun, Mars, bumping into Pluto, all in your third house. So it could mean that you are going to do something that you're a bit afraid of, but you're going to break through it. And the third house is communication. Maybe you're going to do that speech. Maybe you're going to do that communication with someone that you're afraid of, or you're going to do that class or workshop or skill that you're going to pick up to learn, and that is going to be so innovative for you and helping you for the rest of your life, so to speak. So the third house is short trips, it's travel, but it's also teaching, learning, everything that has to do with social media. It's a very busy house, so it's going to be very busy for you from the 20th to the end of the month. When you're doing a short trip, it can mean a breakthrough of some sorts as well. It can also mean a breakthrough in connections like new neighbors, or a lot of emphasis on that, or siblings that they are going through some sort of phase that is very new, very refreshing, and very breakthrough energy. Capricorns, of course, you're going to have your new moon on the 18th. It's at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So it's a new start for you anyways during this month. But what an energy in your first house. Those first 20 days, my goodness me. And with Venus and Mars planting its seed on the 8th in your sign, this is all about you and your life path. I mean, the first house is everything. It's first of all, literally your body. So you could be doing something new. You could be it can be as simple as a new haircut, but it can be a little bit more than that as well. But whatever it is, it trines Uranus in your fifth house. So you're expressing yourself in a new way. Uranus in the fifth house in Taurus. So it's very enjoyable, and it's a lot of energy of the heart chakra. So you go out there, you enjoy yourself the first 20 days for sure. You being creative, you launching a new business, thinking about children if you are. It could also mean you starting up a new project, and that has to do with work, that is related to work because it's in Capricorn. That has to do with improving your lifestyle, your quality of life. Very, very beautiful. Also relationships, of course. This first house in your fifth house, there could be a start of a new relationship. And it's a lot about you being really you and authentic yourself. And it's an old saying, I know, and it's a bit cheesy, but being yourself attracts people that are very much matching up with your energy as well. It's very magnetic. You're going to be extremely magnetic. It's a good time to start with everything. I mean, to start a new business, to start a new work, to start a new relationship, all of these things. Enjoy it. And also to create a lot of support and stability in the long run and in a more material way of life. Then on the 20th and onwards, all these planets shift into your second house. So there's Mars and starts with Venus, Mercury and the Sun and Mars all shifting towards Aquarius, where Pluto is in your second house. So this is a lot about your finances, your confidence. So a lot of hustling for the money. That could be with Mars Pluto, you doing something that you've never done before. You're a bit afraid of it, but you're doing it to transform and to improve in an innovative way your resources. So that could be linked with a new job, for instance, or a new project. And it really boosts your confidence. And it's there for the long run. And it's a lot of these energies that you have to your availability, so to speak, to improve your self-confidence and the work towards that. Very beautiful. Now Neptune shifts into your 4th house on the 27th of the month, and that's in Aries. So when it comes to your home, and it stays there for a long, long time, many years, when it comes to home, you will be more attracted to homes that have to do a little bit more with the romantic side, maybe literally, romantic curtains, whatever that is for you, but that you can rest and that you can be easy, flowy, listening to nice music and to calm down at home, and possibility of having that opportunity to relax more at home, or to live at the seaside, water, whatever it is. That could be definitely for the Capricorns who have planets at the very beginning. The 0 to 2 degrees will feel that, this feeling of letting go of the past, and dissolving of the past, and that creates more trust, and that creates more trust for the future as well. Beautiful. Aquarians, Neptune at the end of the month on the 27th comes into your 3rd house again in Aries. So that's beautiful. That means your speech, your communication is, you're invited to do it gentlier. Not that is not that you're not doing this gently already, but gentlier, with more empathy, with more understanding. Your words are healing for others, and you're receiving healing words from others. There's an interest in doing something new, or learning or studying something, a skill that has to do with Neptune, that has to do with that inspiration, empathic energy, for sure. Having in your day-to-day life a little bit more intuition, that as well. But of course, all this energy, the first 20 days, is in your 12th house. So for you, it's a bit contra, because mostly they say, oh yeah, the beginning of the year and off you go. It's not that for you. For you, it's like the first 20 days. Of course, you do what you've got to do. This is just an explanation of energy. But it's a good time to relax and to, if you can, to book a vacation or something, because you're having Venus, Mercury, the Sun, Mars, all in the 12th house, and it's trining Uranus in the 4th. So you could also be at home, really enjoying yourself, and with some downtime, and enjoying to be around the home and not doing a lot. Or again, of course, Venus and Mars are the lovers, and it's in your 12th house. So on the 8th of January or around that time, that could be something that starts up in secret. I'm going to be honest here. It's that energy, or from a bit from a distance, or for some reason you can't show love. But this is shifting as soon as Venus and Mars shift into Aquarius, and from the 20th of the month and onwards, it's all in your 1st house. So, and it's in the open. It could also mean that in secret, you're doing a lot of work. You're doing a lot of work behind the scenes that has to do with preparation, that has to do with, it's a bit the Sherlock Holmes house, the 12th house, investigating something, and I would say, if you would want to do something new in the year and to start, I wouldn't do it the first 20 days. I would do it after that, because The first 20 days are preparation, still some preparation to do. I'm going to do it like that. For instance, if you want to do a new job or having a new job and you're in secret writing the new contract, but you're still in another job. It's that kind of energy. So that is better not to tell something unless you are really, really sure, of course. But it's not always necessarily a bad thing to do things a bit behind the scenes. It's that kind of energy here. So you're very active in that 12th house. Another thing could mean that you do something of healing work, whatever that is for you, or some therapy in some way, whether it is a family or family constellation, or you going on a retreat. It's really, and you could fall in love there as well. It could happen as well with Venus and Mars there in your 12th house. But of course, when all these planets shift into your sign, and that's the last 10 days of the month, it's all eyes on you. You're going to have Venus in your sign. You're going to have Venus is already in your sign from the 20th. No, from the 18th of the month. So you're going to have Venus, Mercury, the Sun, Mars, all in Aquarius. So all eyes are on you. It also means a lot of energy to direct your year. So this is from the 20th up until the end of the month. With directing your year, I mean, the first house is your life part. First of all, it's physical, right? Venus, Mars in the first house can mean that you shift, something, your looks, your garderobe. I mixing up French and English. But anyway, you're doing something with your looks, and that is very new and very refreshing. You could be doing that. Or another thing is also with love. There could be power struggles going on with love, right? So you trying to control others, or they're trying to control you, whatever it is, there's a bit of a power struggle there. But all in all, there's more authenticity available for you. And to do something, whether it is starting a relationship, breaking up a relationship, it's doing something that is really good for you in the long run. But there's a no way back kind of energy, as I explained in the introduction. The introduction is for you for sure. And so an existing relationship that's very toxic, for instance, you've been working on it in 2025, you could really break it now. And you go for you, because you've got all these planets in your house. It's not the time to focus too much on others now. It's not that you neglect your relationships, but it's a lot about you and how you want to profile yourself, how you want to show yourself to others. It's Venus, Mars in your sign. So it's that kind of drawing the lines, and also with boundaries, saying no when it's no. And to be brutally honest, and you're going to love it because it's going to free you up, and it's going to be long term. So for some of you, it's a new relationship as well. Could be that, but anything that you could start, a new job, a new work, that's the same, isn't it, Veerle? A new relationship, a new project, a new hobby, you name it. It's a lot of you having a lot of energy, and I love that for you. Did I talk about Neptune in your third house? I did, I think. Yeah. Last but not least, Pisces. What's going on here? Let's talk about your modern ruler, Neptune, shifting into a new sign, which is Aries, your second house, on the 27th. So Neptune in the second house. A lot of people don't like that, because the second house is a very real house. It's about your money. It's about your confidence, and Neptune is all flowy. But what a lot of people don't know, but you will probably feel this intuitively because it's your modern ruler. Neptune in the second also means if you're not attached too much towards what you want physically, I mean materialistically, then you're going to get it. It's that attitude. It's the detachment and the trust that attracts money. That's going to be for many, many years to come, your best attitude towards money. But also, of course, to be stable and all of that, because Saturn is going to be there as well, and to be very realistic at the same time, but also to trust and to have that status of abundance and to have that, okay, materialistic matters, it's not everything, right? But you know that as a Piscean. But the funny thing is, when people do that, they have that mentality, they kind of attract a lot of money. Anyway, this is a very long transit. But what is really typically for January is, of course, this whole traffic jam of planets in Capricorn, which is sextiling your energy, which is very nice in your 11th house. And this is the first 20 days. You're having Venus, Mars planting a seed in on the 8th in that 11th house. Two things here. This is all about your friends, your friendships, your social circle. There is like a new social circle, a new friend coming in, a new love coming in that is related to friends because it's in your 11th house and it opposes Jupiter in your 5th house. So there could be a friend that comes a little bit more than a friend, especially because it trines Uranus, also the planet of Uranus has to do also with Aquarius, so it's also that friendly energy in your 3rd house of communication and also of short trips. So you could be making a short trip. If you can do it, you're going to really, really enjoy it. Or do it with friends as well. You know, a trip with friends could be that as well. You establishing social media, for instance, if you have your own business, you could be really, really very fruitful. Or if you've been working on that in 2025, having now really you see that your effort is paying off. So definitely with all this Capricornian energy in the 11th house. So when you structured your social media or your PR or a website or whatever it is, a web shop, this can mean a lot of activity there and a lot of clients, a lot of people, a lot of income, because the 11th house is the second house from the 10th house. If you have your own business, I'm talking about people now who are having their own business. On another level is your goals. There could be you working a lot and establishing a lot around goals and things that you do with like-minded people. It's like planting of a new seed, and it's a goal that is very real and that is able to improve your lifestyle. Let's put it like that. And of course, as from the 20th and onwards, all these planets shift towards your 12th house, which is the Piscean house. So Venus and Mercury and the Sun and Mars, they all get into that 12th house of Aquarius with Pluto. Now, so from the 20th up until the end of the month, this is a bit of restless energy, you could say, because it's a lot of activity in a house that is a bit secret, that is a bit about relaxing, and is a very spiritual house. Now, for some people, this could mean you going on a retreat, for instance, a retraite. You were traveling far away and to relax and to enjoy that, but also to be very innovative and in some way doing some transformational stuff, like maybe a family constellation or whatnot, because Pluto is there. All these planets are touching Pluto, but the planet of transformation. So there is something of old patterns that you can work on. This is, by the way, all behind the scenes. So the first 20 days of the month are more open and social. And then this energy is a bit more withdrawn. You could also prepare yourself for something, whatever that is, with Venus and Mars there. It could mean that you prepare for something new, a new job, or you are investigating something that is related to technology. It's in Aquarius. It could also mean love that is behind the scenes. Venus and Mars in the 12th house. I'm not judging here, but it is possible. Whatever it is, it's there to transform you, and it's there to, whatever the action is that you're taking, it's a now or never moment and no way back kind of energy. And So yeah, that's the month. It's a very social month, and a little bit towards the end of the month, it's a little bit more introvert. But you're preparing yourself, of course, for then in February when the planets are going to be more into your sign. So if around the last 10 days of the month is a good time as well to prepare some actions that are very important for you, that are innovative for you and real for you and honest, but that you can't speak of yet, like preparing for a new job, looking for a new job. So being active behind the scenes, basically, in a very positive way. Anyway, that was it. Thank you so much for listening. And if you want to have a reading, don't hesitate. Check out my website. I put a link below. And I wish you the best January of all times. Bye bye.